Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and thank you for stopping by today for another wonderful tutorial. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload new video. Today's tutorial, we're going to be making a bralette. It's a very easy tutorial and it was a requested video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I am going to draft it on my pattern paper. So get your pattern paper and assume that this is your fabric. You are going to hold it like I'm showing you here and fold it into a triangle or a bias. So you're going to get your fabric, fold it into a bias like so. So this tutorial I used like a scrap fabric I had left over, so it's not even up to half a yard. Okay, all right, so I'm going to fold into a bias and I'm going to make sure that that the selvage edge that they match together. So once I'm done with that, at the tip I'm going to come down by half an inch. I'm coming down by half an inch, and this is so that I won't have a sharp point when I cut out the pattern. Okay, so once I mark out that half an inch, I am going to mark 9 inches. I will mark 9 inches all around. All right, so like I said, this is a very easy tutorial. So the reason why I'm doing mine on a pattern paper is because of the fabric I'm using. I want to cut it out a certain way. All right, so after I mark the 9 inches, I go ahead and I cut out my pattern. Okay, so when you open it up, you have something like this. So it's like a right angle. Okay, so now I'm going to get my fabric and I'm going to cut it out. As you can see, you see the pattern I have on my fabric, and I want to cut that piece out so it can be in the front. That was why I drafted a pattern, but you can use the same method and cut directly on your fabric. Okay, so I am going to place my pattern on how I want to cut it out. Okay, I'm just going to maneuver it until I get the way that I want. Then I'll pin it down. So I'm just going to pin it down and I will go ahead and I will cut it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. All right, after cutting it out, so this is what I have. So I went ahead and I cut out 4 pieces because one of them will be the lining to turn it out. Okay, so this piece is the front, and I also cut out the band. I used my underbust circumference to cut out the band that will go on the underbust. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of the bralette. I cut it out, as you can see, and then the band, I used the circumference of my underbust, which is 36, but I added about, I cut out 42 inches instead because I will add elastic in the back. Okay, you can cut exactly your underbust circumference, then you use a hook for the back. All right, and then I also cut out 2 strips this will be for the tie, to tie on your neck. So the measurement that I have is 16 inches. So depending on how long you want your the tie to be, you can, you know, cut that out. All right. So, and this is what I have. And now I am going to place the 4 pieces together. All right. I placed the 4 pieces together. Now I'm just going to trim this out. I trim it out to make sure that they're all both equal. And then after that, I am going to fold it into 2. Now keep in mind that this is the 4 pieces. I place them all together. So now I am going to use the nipple to nipple measurement for me, which is 4 inches. Okay, my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. I divide that into 2 and that gives me 4 inches. I will use that 4 inches as my dot. Okay, so we're going to take out a dot of 4 inches because now if you look at the shape is like a triangle. So once I mark out the 4 inches on the bottom, I mark 1 inches and I connected it like so. So I'm going to cut out that piece. Again, I measured 4 inches, which is half of my nipple to nipple measurement. I marked out 1 inch at the bottom, I connected it, and now I am going to use my scissors and cut it out. So the reason why I did this is so that it can give it that shape, that rounded shape, instead of being flat. So you're going to see once I join it together, then you see how it will come out. All right. So this is my the front. You place the lining piece, the right side facing each other. Sorry. Okay, so now this is the dot. I am going to close it up like so. So I close it up and pin it down. Then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I will sew it, and then you see that it will take a shape of a bra. Okay, so this is what it will look like. As you can see, it's taking the shape of a bra. I will do the same for all 4 pieces. Then I will place the right sides facing each other. Then I am going to place the one of the string like so. So like you sort of place it in between the lining and the fabric. And I'll do the same for the other side. Place the string in between the lining and the fabric. So I am going to start sewing from the bottom all around. And then once I'm done with that, I will be joining the band at the bottom. Okay, so this is the bralette after I've joined the sides and also attached the string. I'm sorry, the tie rather. And what I did is I placed both of them together in order to close the in between. I used like about 1 inch and then I closed it up, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so now this is my band. Like I said, I measured out 42 inches, now I'm going to fold it into 2 to get the midpoint. And then I use my chalk and mark that. Now I'm going to open it up again, and I will be dividing this band into 3 pieces. So I folded the other end and the other end again into 2, and I marked that. So these will be the sides. Okay, so as you can see, I've divided it into 3. So now this is my elastic. I'll be attaching the elastic and I'll stop on the side where I marked the on the side. So I pin it down like so, and I will cut another elastic for the other side. So what I did, I'm going to use my sewing machine and attach the elastic right there. I'll sew it down. Okay, so once I finish sewing it down and you sew it down, I will do the same for the other side as well. And now I'm going to use my pin and push out the elastic. Okay. All right, so now the next thing is I'm going to match the center front together, and then I'll use the pin and pin it down. So I'm going to pin the band to the bralette all around. Okay, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe and share my videos, for sharing is caring. All right, I'm going to keep pinning it down, and then on the side where I marked earlier, I will pin it down as well. Okay, see where I marked the chalk, and the other side I make sure that it matches the side like so. Okay, I will take it to the sewing machine now to sew it now. Okay, so now before I start sewing it, I just want to show you again. And I used the elastic. The elastic that I cut out was 7.5 inches. I'm sorry, I cut out 7 inches. Then I divided that into two and cut out for each side, okay? Because I want the elastic to go to the back. Now I'm going to put my pin, my safety pin. Okay, now I am going to insert my elastic for the other side. So I put the safety pin at the end of the elastic. I already attached the other side. So this is my elastic. I'm just going to measure what I have. Like I said, I have 3.5 inches. Now what I have for the band left over after I sew it is about 10 inches. Okay, so I divided the the elastic that I cut out into two. I cut out 7 inches and I divided it into two. That's 3.5. Okay, so what I did is I opened I had an opening from the seam, so that's where I am going to follow to insert the elastic. So I'm going to insert it like so, and then I will pull it out, and now I will attach the end. I'll attach the end on the line where I marked on the side. So that's where I will attach one end of the elastic. Okay. All right, so I'm going to keep pushing and filling the end until I get the end to match the line that I marked on the side. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it down. All right. So once we finish sewing it down, then I'll push it out. All right, so this is the bralette and this is the band. I've attached the band, and I also use my I also top stitched it. Like I said earlier, I also sewed down one end of the elastic to the side. Now I'm going to use my safety pin and push out the rest of it. As you can see, the side has an elastic, and also the other side. All right, so now I'm going to take out my safety pin, and also make sure as you're pulling, you're holding it so you don't let go before it goes inside. So what I'm going to do is stitch the ends together. I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch it together. Okay, after I stitch it together, this is what it looks like, and it's become one. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to tuck in the ends of the band. So I'm going to tuck it in just like you're making a scrunchie. So you're going to tuck in one end of the band to the other end of the band. So what I'm going to do, once I tuck it in, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and then I will stitch it down together, including the elastic, in order to close it firmly. All right, so I just tucked it in like so. Tuck in both ends like this, and then I'll take it to the machine and sew it down. And then after I finish sewing it down, this is the bralette. As you can see, it came out very nice. So I will put it on my mannequin so you guys can see how it looks like. It's a very easy tutorial. Please try it out and let me know how yours came out. Okay, and also subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and share my videos. And yeah, this is the bralette. I'm happy how it came out. This is what you can do with one of your scrap fabric, and this is what it looks on the on my mannequin. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Please like, share, and comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.